You open your makeup bag every single morning. You trust what's inside it. You put it on your lips, your eyes, your skin, and you have absolutely no idea what's absorbing into your bloodstream while you do it. Because here's what the beauty industry doesn't want you to know. Several of the most popular makeup brands in the world have been caught with lead in their lipsticks, asbestos-contaminated talc in their eyeshadows, PFS chemicals in their foundations, and formaldehyde-releasing preservatives in their products. These aren't fringe brands. These are names sitting on your bathroom counter right now. Names you grew up with, names your mother trusted. The FDA does not approve cosmetics before they hit the shelves. Let that sink in. The European Union has banned over 400 chemicals from cosmetics. The United States has banned fewer than 30. That gap, that enormous catastrophic gap, is where these brands operate. That's where they hide. And that's exactly where your health gets sacrificed for profit margins. What I'm about to show you will change how you shop forever. In this video, I'm giving you the exact brands to throw out, the exact chemicals destroying your health, and the exact alternatives that actually respect the person wearing them. So before we go any further, drop the brand sitting in your makeup bag right now in the comments. Let's see how many of you are already at risk. Let's start. Maybelline. You probably bought your first mascara from them. The pink and green tube, it felt like a rite of passage. It felt safe. It felt American. What they didn't tell you is that in independent lab testing, Maybelline products have repeatedly shown traces of PFAS, PER, and polyfluoroalkyl substances. These are known as forever chemicals because your body cannot break them down. They accumulate. They build up over years and decades. And they have been linked by the CDC and peer-reviewed studies to thyroid disruption, hormonal interference, liver damage, and increased cancer risk, specifically kidney and testicular cancers. Their mascaras and some long-wear foundations contain PS-linked compounds used to create that waterproof, long-lasting effect. That smudge-proof finish. It's coming at a cost your body is quietly paying every single time you apply it. You can't smell it. You can't feel it. You won't know until the damage is already done. Who's most at risk? Teenagers applying mascara daily. Pregnant women. People with thyroid conditions already. Maybelline knew the industry was under scrutiny. They kept selling it. They kept marketing the pink tube as iconic. Is an icon worth your endocrine system? Drop Maybelline in the comments if this is in your bag right now. Revlon. A name synonymous with glamour. Decades of red lipstick campaigns. Old Hollywood. Confident sophistication. In 2007, the campaign for Safe Cosmetics tested 33 name brand lipsticks. Revlon products appeared on the list of lipsticks containing detectable levels of lead. Lead, a heavy metal with zero safe exposure level according to the World Health Organization. Lead causes neurological damage. It crosses the blood-brain barrier. It accumulates in bones. And lipstick? You don't just wear it, you ingest it. Studies show the average lipstick wearer consumes approximately 24 milligrams of product per day through eating, drinking, and lip contact. That lead isn't going nowhere. It's going into you. Revlon also faced significant financial scandal and collapse in recent years, raising serious questions about quality control and oversight as the company was stretched thin. When a brand is fighting to stay solvent, where do corners get cut? In sourcing, in testing, in the things you never see. Seniors are especially vulnerable. Lead at any level worsens cognitive decline. Anyone managing blood pressure or heart disease is at compounded risk. And Revlon kept the lipstick red and the advertising glamorous. Is glamour worth lead accumulation in your nervous system? Tell me in the comments. L'Oréal Paris, the world's largest cosmetics company. Because you're worth it. One of the most trusted slogans in advertising history. But are you worth full ingredient transparency? Because L'Oréal has repeatedly faced scrutiny over its use of parabens, methylparaben, propylparaben, butylparaben, synthetic preservatives that mimic estrogen in the body. The European Union has restricted several paraben compounds in cosmetics. The EU Scientific Committee on Consumer Safety flagged them as endocrine disruptors. In the US, they remain largely unregulated in cosmetics. Research has detected parabens in human breast tissue. The correlation between paraben exposure and hormone-sensitive cancers is an active area of serious scientific investigation. L'Oréal has reformulated some products in EU markets and continued selling paraben-containing versions in others. Same brand. Different standards depending on which country's regulators are watching. Their foundations, moisturizers, and makeup bases are daily use products. You're not applying this once a year. You're applying it every single morning, absorbing those compounds through the skin, your body's largest organ, directly into your bloodstream. And L'Oréal's marketing budget ensures you keep trusting them anyway. Is this in your morning routine? You already know the answer. CoverGirl. The All-American Girl Next Door. Clean. Fresh. Approachable. The brand that's been on drugstore shelves since 1961. Talc. That's the word that should make you stop, CoverGirl, along with several other mass-market brands, has used cosmetic talc in pressed powders, eyeshadows, and foundations. And here's the problem: cosmetic talc is mined from the earth in close proximity to asbestos. When talc is contaminated with asbestos during mining and processing, it becomes a direct carcinogen. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies asbestos as a Group 1 carcinogen. There is no safe level of asbestos inhalation. Johnson & Johnson faced billions in verdicts over talc-based products. The broader cosmetic industry uses the same talc supply chains. The FDA conducted its own testing and found asbestos in cosmetic talc products, including eyeshadow palettes marketed to children. Children's eyeshadow with asbestos. When you press a powder foundation and that fine cloud of particles rises into the air, you're breathing that in every single morning for years. The damage from asbestos-related disease like mesothelioma can take 20 to 40 years to manifest, which means the powder you used at 22 becomes the diagnosis you receive at 55. CoverGirl kept selling. Keep watching, because this gets worse. Rimmel London, it sounds sophisticated. British heritage. Edge. Affordable luxury. Rimmel has faced repeated controversy over its use of coal tar dyes, synthetic colorants derived from petroleum. These include compounds like FD&C colors and specific dyes flagged by European regulators as potential carcinogens and allergens. The EU has stricter controls on which synthetic dyes are permissible in cosmetics. Several coal tar-derived compounds still found in US cosmetics are banned or restricted in European markets. Their mascaras and eyeliners sit directly against your eyes. The skin around the eyes is among the thinnest, most absorptive skin on your entire body. Absorption rate is dramatically higher there than on your arm or leg. What goes near your eyes doesn't stay near your eyes. Rimmel also contains in several product lines retinol acetate, a form of vitamin A that sounds healthy but has been flagged by the Environmental Working Group for potential tumor-promoting effects when applied to skin exposed to sunlight. You apply foundation and then walk outside. That's exactly the exposure pattern that raises concern. People on ACAN medications, blood thinners, or heart medications face compounded chemical interaction risks. Did Rimmel disclose this? Did the marketing mention it? You know the answer. Would you risk your eye health for a 6 mascara? NYX Professional Makeup. The indie darling. The brand that built its following on social media, on beauty communities, on the idea that professional quality makeup didn't have to cost a fortune. NYX is owned by L'Oréal. They share supply chains, sourcing relationships, and ingredient databases, and NYX products have tested positive for PFAS compounds in independent studies conducted by university researchers. The same forever chemicals we discussed earlier. The professional branding creates an illusion of elevated standards. The ingredient lists tell a different story. NYX also uses several synthetic fragrance compounds listed under the catch-all ingredient, fragrance, or parfum. That single word can legally conceal dozens of undisclosed chemicals, including phthalates, which are plasticizers linked to hormonal disruption, reduced fertility in studies, and developmental issues in children. Phthalates have been banned in children's toys in the EU. They remain in cosmetic fragrance formulas in the US. You cannot see them listed. You cannot smell them individually. You simply absorb them. NYX's colorful packaging and social media presence masks what's underneath. The algorithm pushed it to you. The brands paid influencers to use it. And you trusted the aesthetic. Is your aesthetic worth hormonal disruption? ELF Cosmetics. This one is going to sting for some of you, because ELF built its entire brand on the idea of being the ethical, affordable, cruelty-free choice, the clean option, the one you feel good about buying. A 2021 peer-reviewed study published in Environmental Science and Technology Letters tested 231 cosmetics products for PFS. ELF products appeared in the results with detectable PFS levels, specifically in some of their longer wear and complexion products. The researchers found that products marketed as long-lasting or water-resistant were the most likely to contain PFAS, because that's how the chemical property is engineered into the formula. The cruelty-free label tells you animals weren't harmed in testing. It says nothing about what's in the formula. It says nothing about PFAS. It says nothing about forever chemicals accumulating in your liver and bloodstream. The label was designed to make you feel safe. It was not designed to make you safe. This is the betrayal that cuts deepest. The brand you chose specifically because you were trying to do the right thing. They positioned themselves as the better choice. And they used the same chemistry. Is the ELF sitting in your bag right now? You deserved better than this? Urban Decay, rock and roll, rebellion, anti-establishment energy. The brand that was supposed to be different from the corporate giants. Urban Decay was acquired by L'Oréal in 2012. Everything changed when the acquisition happened. Supply chains, formulation access, ingredient sourcing. Urban Decay has faced criticism from consumer advocacy organizations for continued use of synthetic dyes and compounds with limited long-term safety data. Their naked palettes, some of the best-selling eyeshadow products in history, contain shimmer compounds and binding agents that have raised questions from ingredient watchdogs. The eyeshadow texture, that smooth, buttery, almost powdery feel when you blend it. That texture comes from a combination of binders, fillers, and synthetic compounds that make it feel premium. The sensation is engineered, and some of what creates that sensation is absorbed through your eyelid skin during application and wear. Urban Decay's marketing spent millions making you feel like buying their product was an act of rebellion against the establishment, against corporate beauty. The reality, they are the establishment. They just sold rebellion as a product, and you bought it. Did you know who actually owned Urban Decay? Too Faced, playful, feminine, the Better Than Sex mascara, the Peach palette, the brand that feels like a treat, like something indulgent and fun. Too Faced was acquired by Estee Lauder in 2016 for $1.45 billion. It is now a fully owned subsidiary of one of the most powerful conglomerate beauty companies in the world. And like so many conglomerate-owned indie brands, the ingredient standards do not match the identity they sell. Too Faced products contain several synthetic fragrance compounds and artificial colorants that trigger significant rates of contact dermatitis and allergic responses, particularly around the eyes and lips, where their most popular products are applied. These reactions don't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's chronic puffiness around the eyes, persistent dryness on the lips, low-grade irritation you've attributed to everything except your makeup. The reactions are quiet, long, and ongoing. People don't realize makeup is the source because the packaging is so cheerful, because the names are so sweet, because it smells like peaches. They kept you distracted with whimsy while the allergens built up in your system. Mash Cosmetics. Professional. The brand makeup artists actually use, the one behind the counter at department stores, the one that feels serious and legitimate. Mackie has faced ongoing criticism from the Environmental Working Group, which scores cosmetics on a toxicity scale. Several MAC products score in the moderate to high hazard range, citing concerns about retinol palmitate, another vitamin A derivative with potential photocarcinogenic concerns, along with synthetic fragrance compounds and preservative systems. Massey is owned by Estee Lauder. The professional positioning creates trust that the ingredient list sometimes doesn't support. Their Studio Fix products, worn daily, applied heavily, contain a range of synthetic fillers and binding compounds. Daily use is the critical phrase. We're not talking about a once-a-year exposure. We're talking about cumulative daily absorption, year after year, on your skin, near your eyes, on your lips. Professional branding, corporate ownership, premium price, and ingredients that European regulators have restricted while American regulators have not. The price tag was never a guarantee of safety. Nurse. Luxury positioning, editorial, high fashion adjacency. The brand that makes you feel like you're wearing what the models wear. NARS is owned by Shiseido, a Japanese multinational. And despite the luxury price point, NARS products have been flagged by EWG for several ingredients including BHA, butylated hydroxynitrosol, a preservative the EU considers a possible endocrine disruptor and potential carcinogen at repeated exposure levels. BHA appears in their blushes and foundations, products applied directly to your skin, products you wear for 8 to 12 hours per day. The markup on luxury makeup is not a safety premium. You are paying for packaging, marketing, editorial placement, and celebrity association. You are not paying for safer chemistry. The formula inside a 50 NARS blush and a 10 drugstore blush can contain the same class of problematic ingredients. The luxury tax buys you nothing in terms of biological safety. Wet n Wild. The ultra-budget option. The brand many women turn to when money is tight, when you just need something affordable and functional. Wet n Wild's price point comes from somewhere. Cheaper ingredient sourcing, less rigorous supply chain auditing, and some Wet n Wild products have tested for heavy metal traces, not just lead, but cadmium and chromium, in pigmented products like eyeshadows and lip colors. These metals occur as contaminants in low-cost synthetic pigment supply chains. They are not intentional additions, but they are there. Cadmium is a known human carcinogen classified by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. Chromium VI is a known carcinogen. These are not trace unknowns. These are documented hazards present in cosmetic pigment supply chains when sourcing standards drop below a certain floor. And when you're buying lipstick for $2, that floor is low. Now, after everything you've just heard, here's what you actually do. Two brands that operate differently. Not perfectly, but fundamentally differently. First, ILIA Beauty. ILIA publishes its full ingredient sourcing philosophy and submits products for third-party testing. They hold themselves to EU standards voluntarily, not because American law requires it. Their formulas are shorter. Their ingredient lists are readable. They specifically avoid PFS, parabens, phthalates, and talc. Their Super Serum Skin Tint contains SPF and skincare actives with a clean formulation standard that has been independently verified. This is what transparency looks like. Second, RMS Beauty, founded by a makeup artist who got sick and traced her illness back to the chemicals she was absorbing through daily professional makeup use. RMS formulates with food-grade and organic ingredients where possible. Their raw coconut cream base is genuinely different at a chemistry level. Their Wild with Desire lipstick line uses pigment sources that have been individually vetted. This brand exists because someone experienced the damage firsthand and refused to accept that it was inevitable. These brands prove the industry could do better. They just choose not to. Now go to your kitchen, go to your bathroom, open your makeup bag, look at what's in there. Read the ingredient list on the back. Look for the words fragrance, talc, paraben, PFS, or retinol. Look for the brands we named today and make a decision. You don't have to throw everything out tonight. But you cannot unknow this. You cannot go back to applying these products in the morning with the same ignorance you had before pressing play. The information is yours now. The brands named in this video have the resources, the chemists, and the supply chains to do better. They choose not to because you keep buying. The moment you stop, the formula changes. You are the only pressure that works. You now know the truth. What you do next is on you.